Are you going to start? Or am I going to start?
That's good enough.
Great job.
Wow, we just wrote a song, you guys.
But this podcast isn't about writing songs.
Kind of is.
Kind of a little
proxy.
bit. Yeah.
Not really at all.
Random songs where all we say is,
Oh, man. Goodness me, referee.
Yeah, goodness me.
Well, after that lovely song, I guess it's fitting that we introduce you to a podcast. American Brews and Tunes.
Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes. Shibbity-beeby-dow!
Shibbity-peepoo-dow indeed. My name is Steven Johnston.
And my name is Jesse Titus.
And this is American Brews and Tunes, a weekly
Welcome back.
podcast. Weekly.
Yep.
Featuring two of the best things in one place.
Beer.
And?
Music.
Yeah.
Or, as other people say, brews and tunes.
Yeah, as we would say, of course.
Yes.
But only us, no one else. No, if you want to say brews and tunes, by all means,
go right ahead.
Say it. Anyways, this is another regular edition of our podcast in which I recommend an album for Jesse to listen to, and he does the same for me.
Yeah.
After listening to said albums for about 2 weeks, we come back together and review whilst trying new beers.
Cheers.
Cheers to beers.
Or as Jesse Dick would say, cheers to beers for years.
Yeah, he would.
He says that. You said that all the time.
He used to. For years.
For years.
Now he's married.
Yeah.
And with child.
Yeah. Congrats, Jesse, if you're listening.
Yeah, I doubt he's listening. But if you're listening, congrats, Jesse.
And Sierra.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways.
Back to the good stuff. To the subject at hand.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we talk about the beers first that we're trying this week?
Okay, let us. What are you trying?
I am going to be trying a Imperial IPA from the brewery Avery Brewing Company. And it is called the Maharaja Imperial IPA. I'm pretty excited for this beer, just because I looked it up on Untappd today whenever I was looking for beers, and I saw that 3 of my friends on Untappd had it, and all of them were good ratings.
Who were your friends that had it?
Ben Butler.
Oh.
Nathan Shoup.
Ben's a great guy, but sometimes he throws those high ratings out pretty
But
generously.
you know who never does?
Who?
Shoup.
Shoup rated it high?
He gave it 5 out of 5.
Oh, Shoup.
I know.
Shoup. There it is.
Shout out, Shoup. So, that's the beer I'm trying. I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
But before I go on, you said it's Imperial. What's the ABV on that bad boy?
Let me double check. It is a whopping 10%.
So that's pretty high up there, if I do say so myself.
And I would say that, yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I would say that as well. What's it say on the bottom of your can? Do you see all that writing?
Canned on June 8th, 2018.
2 months old? Exactly 2 months old today, right?
Goodbye, Aaron. You will be missed.
Does it say Aaron?
It's double A, then Ron.
Is that a reference?
To Key and Peele?
Aaron.
You will be missed, though?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Maybe, what if it wasn't an actor, maybe?
I don't know. For all of you who are wondering what the heck we're doing, what we're referencing, oftentimes on the bottom of a can, they'll print the date that either the date that the beer was canned on or the date that it's best by.
Best by, yep.
But every once in a while, some breweries will post something funny on the bottom. Like I had an IPA from New Heights in Nashville, and on the bottom of the can, it had the best by date, and it said, not a morning person. So just random things, and Jesse's can just happens to say,
Goodbye, Aaron. You will be missed.
Weird. Mine doesn't say anything.
Huh.
What is mine, you might ask?
What?
Mine is
I do ask.
Sunset Irish Red Ale by Four Sons Brewing. I'd never heard of Four Sons. They're from Huntington Beach, California. California. Unlike yours, mine comes in at a not so whopping 5.5 ABV.
Okay.
Just right in the heart of regular.
Just about half.
Yeah, super regular. But I don't think we ever had a red ale on the podcast that I can remember, and it's it just sounds great. And so I'm going to pour mine into a Sam Adams glass just for funsies.
Just because.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like a plan.
Think of Irish in Boston, Sam Adams. Boston is Irish red, even though it's from
that
California.
makes sense.
So,
that makes sense.
Let's say that we give these a little crack, a pour, and try.
Sounds like a plan.
Right.
See what this bad boy looks like.
It's actually been a little while since I've had a red ale in general myself. I think the last time I had one was the Killian's. I think we had Killian's on St. Patty's.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, that was this year.
Killian's is good.
It's been a long time since I've had a double IPA.
Really?
Yeah.
That's unusual.
That is kind of unusual.
Yeah. My red ale is true to color. It's like a
dark
red amber.
Dark red amber, yeah. It's foaming up too.
Yeah, it's because I poured it a little too vigorously, but also maybe it's this Sam Adams glass just forms it perfectly. It looks like I did a really good job pouring this, actually.
Yeah.
Now, I don't mind, I'm going to take a picture because it looks so good.
Okay, wow. Good luck. I'll talk about my beer while you do that. This beer is actually pretty hazy, but that might just be because of all the bubbles that are in it. It's kind of like where Steve's beer is like a dark brown red color. Mine is kind of like a more I don't know, what would you call this? Like kind of dark tan, or like more orangey than tan, but yeah, he's still taking his picture, so he's not able to comment on this color.
Well, I would agree with you that it's got a haziness. I don't think it's from the bubbles. I would just say it's like a hazy, like light orange.
Light orange kind of color, right?
Rust orange almost.
Yeah, perhaps. Let me get a whiff of this bad boy.
You get a whiff of yours, I'll get a whiff of mine. Mine smells like sweet malts. And I can actually smell the grain. It almost smells like I'm smelling the grain bill.
Really?
Kind of a little grainy, little malty. It smells delicious.
Nice. Mine smells pretty good too. You can definitely smell like this, it's like citrusy type.
Can you
flavor.
smell the hops?
And I can smell the hops. But apparently, the citrusy is to be expected. Because let me read you this can.
Yes, read away.
The Maharaja flaunts his authority with a deranged amount of hops, tangy, vibrant, and pungent, along with an insane quantity of malted barley, fashioning a royal scarlet hue and an exquisite malt essence. So, that tanginess is to be expected, I guess, the tanginess of the citrus.
Tangy citrus.
Smells really good. I'm just about ready to give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited. I haven't had a red ale in a while, so let's say we give the magic cheer and give it a little try.
And as you all know, if you're imbibing,
or if you're not, just cheer with us.
Cheers with us. And you guys all know the magic word as well.
Shibbity-beep-doo!
Ooh. Whoa.
So you gave a ooh, I gave a
This beer is intense.
Mine's not intense.
Is it drinkable though?
It's drinkable. It's not my favorite, actually. It's not
Really?
bad. It's just
not your favorite.
Yeah, it's not as sweet as
you would
the smell
wanted a red
made
ale
me
to
think.
be?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I smelled the maltiness, and I was just assuming I'd have this like nice toffee sweetness.
Yeah.
It's not really there for me. It's not bad. It's just not doing much for me.
This Imperial IPA is sweet.
In a good way?
In a very good way, yeah. It's more of a malty, like bready sweetness that's complemented very nicely by the hops.
Interesting.
So it creates a really nice, smooth flavor. It's very, very good.
Mine's not as sweet bready as I wanted. It's not bad. It's just not really doing it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we give it a little switch ski, and I can see what you're talking about, and you can see what I'm talking about.
Switch. Ooh, the smell of yours is quite nice.
Yours smells good too.
Yeah, you see that malty?
Yeah, I can definitely tell what you're talking about. With
so you're assuming it's going to be a nice sweet malty taste. So
let me see.
Oh, I'm going to see what yours is like.
Oh, I see what you mean. You're
it's
expecting
a little underwhelming.
Yeah, you're expecting more of like the sweet to have more of a presence, and this just kind of has like a tiny little sweet presence.
Yours is quite nice. It's got a very full flavor.
Yeah, and I would say this one is more like lager than a red ale.
Yeah. It's
A lager with like a little bit of a malty taste.
It's not bad. It's just not what I was wanting. I'm not sure that I would get it again, actually.
I got an interesting flavor there. One of the after notes on that beer.
What did you get?
What was it? Kind of just another note of maltiness.
Like
That was kind of nice.
Like a C sharp? Oh!
Music joke.
Different kind of note.
Yep.
Anyways, I don't think we introduced the albums yet, have we?
Not yet.
We normally have already introduced them, but we didn't even introduce them.
We've been holding everybody in suspense.
Yeah.
What will they be? Ooh. Well, you can just look at the title.
Yeah. Be not bound in suspense, listener.
Yeah.
Be not bound in suspense.
Go right up to whatever your device you're listening on and see what the title of this episode is, and you'll know.
Lest you have a broken screen and cannot read.
If you cannot read, how are you using a smart device?
Maybe
phone?
there's a big old glare from the sun and you can't see the
Oh,
screen.
I thought you meant like if they're actually illiterate.
Oh, that's what I meant at first, but
Okay.
it happens.
I guess it does happen. You never know. You never know. Am I right?
No one's a lesser person for not being able to read.
Well, I think most everybody can read now, right?
A lot. There's still I don't know the numbers.
Small percentage.
But there's the U.S. I think it's a small percentage compared to some other countries. But yeah, there's still people who are illiterate.
That's interesting.
Measure not the merit of a person whether they can read or not.
Measure by their actions.
Yeah. Actions speak louder than words, especially if they can't read them. Oh!
But I just processed what you said.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm giving myself a proverbial pat on the back. Or a literal
And a
pat
literal one. Oh my
That was a
god.
zinger.
That was quite a zinger, Steve.
And on that, let's talk about the albums.
Okay, yeah, let's switch gears here.
I think you've been going first for the past couple weeks.
Yeah, you can go first if you like.
So I'll go first.
Well, first of all, let's just say what we're both.
So
well,
say what you're doing, and then we'll come back to you.
so after Steve reviews whatever album he's reviewing,
Wink, wink.
I'll
Wink,
be
wink.
reviewing Alkaline Trio's album Crimson.
Oh,
Yeah, I
crimson.
know.
What a good color. I wish my red.
Only if you like red.
I wish my crimson ale was more crimson
Your
flavored.
Crimson Ale.
Yeah. Okay. So Jesse is going to review that in but a few minutes. Until that time, I am going to touch upon an album called The Wild Hunt by a mysterious artist named, well, not really named, but who goes
Called.
by the name The Tallest Man on Earth.
Yeah.
He is a Swedish singer-songwriter named Christian Madsen.
Christian Madsen.
I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm sure I'm not, but you never know.
How do you spell Madsen?
Matsson.
Wait, what?
Matsson? I hope I'm not.
Madsen. Yeah.
I hope I'm not missing a letter. I might. I don't know. Who knows?
Christoph Madsen.
Yeah, but like that's his real name, but he goes under the stage name The Tallest Man on Earth.
Yes.
Just essentially a solo project, at least from what I gather on this album and
This album,
some Wikipedia pages.
His most recent album is full band.
Oh, interesting. Apparently his live show is pretty awesome.
Really?
So I've heard. So I've read.
Hopefully he's coming to America soon.
I'd like to see him. I think it is safe to say that he is not the actual tallest man on Earth.
Yeah. I don't think so.
I feel very confident saying that. I've been to some Ripley's Believe It or Not museums. Maybe it was Guinness World Records museums. Either way, I've been to both of them. And I have seen those life-size replicas of the tallest man on Earth at
And
one
they're
point in time.
tall.
Yeah, he was quite tall. So I don't think this guy is that tall. But yeah, you never know. Maybe he is. I couldn't find his actual height.
Oh, really?
I didn't look
Did you
for
actually look it up? Oh, you didn't look
I
it
thought
up.
about it. But I was like,
I probably
I
would've.
think it's safe to say.
He's probably not, yeah.
I'm not an authority on the subject, just a safe guesser.
You're not an authority on his height?
No, I am not. Anyways, The Wild Hunt is his second studio album, and it was
Yes.
released in 2010. In 2011, he was nominated for the Best Male Artist, for the Grammys, which is the Swedish equivalent of the Grammys.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it's like. If you replace the Y in Grammys and put an I in there, that's what it is.
Okay.
I don't know what the Swedish people would call that.
Grammy.
The Swedish Grammy.
The Swedish Grammy. Yeah, that's a good way to.
I don't know.
Good way to put it.
Yeah. So The Wild Hunt, like an actual term, The Wild Hunt,
Yeah.
is a reference to a folklore myth
Okay.
Usually like European, kind of. But it's in a bunch of different cultures. And essentially, if you Google it, you can see pictures or you can read different variations on what the Wild Hunt is, because every culture seems to have a little differences here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, it's about some mythical figure, usually gods, riding on horseback, either engaging in like a hunt or war or something.
It's just like in The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt.
I will take your word for that.
There are like people riding on horses and
Well, yes,
that are attacking you.
they're riding on horses. And usually this foreshadows something, war or death or
An
something. Omen of
A
sorts.
foreboding omen. Forbidding?
And that leads into our first song.
Oh, what
which
could
is
that be called?
aptly titled The Wild Hunt. I gave this 9 foot 6 inches, and I recommended it. 10 feet tall being the
10
world's
feet
tallest
tall.
man
Okay.
for my rating system. I don't know what the actual tallest
Yeah.
man is.
9 foot 6 inches.
But it's my first recommendation.
9.5 feet. Okay.
Like I say all too often, this is a great representation of what's to come.
Yeah.
If you've never heard of the tallest man on earth, which I hadn't,
Yep.
I didn't know what to expect. And as soon as I listened to this song, I was like, well, I think I know what to expect from now on after hearing the first song.
Yep.
Most of the album is just the singer and the guitar, pretty stripped back. There is some subtle instrumentation here and there, like maybe a little banjo or some little things for effects, but
Nothing huge though.
prominently just vocal and guitar. The first thing that caught my attention on this song was his voice,
Yeah.
because it's a unique voice, but it's
very
a
unique.
reminiscent voice.
It's very unique. Yeah.
It's like a screechy folk voice,
Yeah.
and that might sound like I don't like it, but I actually do like his voice. I would say it's like a mix between Bob Dylan and Will Varley.
I could see that.
Will Varley is a British folk singer that we talked about on one of our episodes. And
Less
everyone
nasally
knows.
than Bob Dylan, but
yeah, his intonation's a little Bob Dylan-y.
yeah. He kind
for
of
sure.
He kind of wanders. Like his intonation kind of wanders sometimes.
It does. But it's a very unique voice, but I think it fits his style very well.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe, I don't know if it fits his style or if his style fits the voice or vice versa.
Either way, I think it works.
For sure. Anyways, back into that folklore mumbo jumbo that I was talking about earlier.
Okay, yeah.
Usually, a mortal person who were to witness the Wild Hunt,
Yes.
they would be foreshadowing their death.
Yeah.
They could be snatched in the Wild Hunt and taken to the other side, perhaps.
Perhaps.
And in this song, he talks about being mortal at some point in time, and the song alludes to death.
Yeah.
The chorus, I'll read it to you. I left my heart to the Wild Hunt a-comin'.
I left my heart to
the Wild Hunt a-comin'. Wild Hunt a-comin'. I live until the call, and I plan to be forgotten when I'm gone. Yes, I'll be leaving in the fall.
And I plan to be forgotten when I'm gone.
Yes, I'll be leaving in the fall.
Oh.
Super catchy. Like, the melody is really catchy in this song.
Yeah, and he like does a really his guitar playing is interesting because it's like partially chord playing but also partially finger picking at the same time.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'll touch upon the finger picking in some future songs because it's worth touching upon.
Okay.
But when you think of the fall, you think of everything is kind of coming to, like, life is kind of slowing down and drawing towards a death anyways. So if he's leaving in the fall, leaving his heart for the wild hunt coming. So, it's a song I think about the inevitable death.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll be forgotten. Who knows?
Only time will tell.
Yeah, he can be hard to interpret.
Yeah.
Not as difficult, I think, as the last person you had me review,
As
Richard Buckner.
Yeah.
But he can be difficult to interpret. I don't know. It's very artsy.
Yeah,
his
he's definitely more clear though. He doesn't use he uses like complete sentences and not like vague
run-ons.
Vague like half sentences that Richard Buckner used
Richard
in that
Buckner's
album.
style was unique.
Yes.
Moving on to track number 2, which is called The Burden of Tamara. I gave this a rating of 10 foot.
Oh.
I recommended it, and it might be my favorite song on the album.
Wow.
It's mainly because the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the chorus is probably the catchiest part on the whole album.
Okay.
Just that melody that he sings.
Yeah.
I'm not really entirely sure what it's about.
Yeah, like what the burden of tomorrow is.
Yeah. And the chorus is different for each repetition of the chorus, the first half.
Yeah.
But the second half of each chorus is the same. And he says, "But I will fight the stranger that you should fear, so I won't be a burden of tomorrow, dear."
Yeah. Yeah, so what the stranger is, who knows?
Oh, once I held a candle to the flame. Yeah, it's just, I really like that melody.
Yeah.
Or once I held a glacier to a burning flame. What does that mean? I don't know.
Once I held a glacier to an open flame, yeah.
There are certain parts in this song that make me think he's like godlike, but then certain times he's just a blind. It's hard to tell what he means.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to interpret. But I think it's about helping somebody.
Yeah.
Based on that second part of the chorus. Super catchy song, like I said. Moving on to song number 3, which is called Troubles Will Be Gone. I gave it 8 foot 5 inches, and I honorably mentioned it.
Nice.
And so I'll honorably mention what it's about. No. This starts the wild finger picking that is the tallest man on earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's a unique, very, very unique finger picking style. Unlike Bob Dylan or even Richard Buckner, the tallest man on earth does this super cool and really non-traditional finger picking style.
Is this the one where it goes like...
I believe that is this one. Like he incorporates the rhythm and percussive elements that you'd expect in a finger picking style, but he adds syncopation, and by playing with the dynamics, he throws in a melody line at the same time.
Yeah.
So he's got so much going on, and it's really, if you don't know much about finger picking, if you're maybe not as learned, you might not appreciate it as much.
Yeah,
like if you haven't tried to play something like this, or if you haven't tried to write a finger picking pattern,
it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, because everyone does the traditional finger picking style, which you probably hear on a Bob Dylan or any folk song for that matter. Yeah. But it's weird. Like it sounds like he's a master of classical music, jazz, or maybe even avant-garde. Just like all these
more
weird,
like jazzy, I think.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's so cool. Subject matter wise, it seems like there's like an uncertainty, and like he's thrown upon some hard times, but knowing that one day troubles will be gone.
Yep.
I think there might be some religious tones in here, because he talks about like a sign saying still there's a higher one, and troubles will be gone.
Yeah.
So hard to say for sure or not, but that's what I think.
Yeah.
Because he talks about a lot of hard times. He talks about like being in traffic, like on your knees when a car's coming, seeing the Savior, or with white knuckles coming towards you or something like that. Weird, real interesting imagery.
Yeah.
But it was a cool song.
I agree.
Yeah. Moving on to track number 4, which is called You're Going Back.
You're going back. You're going back.
I gave it 7 foot 5 inches. I have no clue what it's about, but that chorus is very memorable.
Yeah,
as we just exemplified. That's all I have to say about it.
Okay.
I just like the chorus a lot. The whole song's good. It's got a cool feel, but I just really like that chorus. Moving on to song number 5, which is called The Drying of the Lawns. I gave this 9 foot 5 inches, and it's my last recommendation.
Ooh, wow. Nice.
Another virtuosic, non-traditional finger-picking song, which is the main reason why I recommended it. I mean, the song's catchy in general, but that as soon as it comes in with these weird-sounding chords, and you hear him going to town on the finger-picking, and he throws in this odd syncopation that almost sounds like a changing of the time signature, but it's just so syncopated. I think he's still in the same time signature.
Yeah.
And you can actually hear his foot tapping. It's either that or a metronome. I think it's his foot tapping.
Yeah.
And
is this
as you hear that, it just stays like in time perfectly, and it's so well crafted.
Is this a song where like the overall sound changes? Like it almost sounds like he's recording it like live, like on a tape recorder or something like that?
Yeah, I think so. But it's just the finger picking is very complex, and it's so well done. Lyrically, the song talks about the ending of a relationship, but trying to hold on to that last little bit before it's gone. So it's pretty somber, but the song's somber too. It's just the drying of the leaves, the lawn. Wait to It's just the drying of the
Yeah.
And it's just really catchy, really kind of sad. Yeah. Just talking about like a movie ending as a metaphor for the relationship ending, but still wanted to see it again, still and not be over with it. It's really, really kind of interesting. But that guitar playing is what drew me in. It's just that the talent that he has with writing that finger picking style.
Yeah.
Moving on to track number 6, which is called "The King of Spain." I gave it 8 foot 5 inches.
I want to be the king of Spain.
This song has a fun, almost galloping feel.
Ring, ding, dong.
And it's a cool song. It's a really cool song, and I like that chorus. Well, if you could reinvent my name. I can't do his voice. Like it's like high, it's like whiny yet gravelly.
Yeah.
It's nasally but not. It's so hard to describe his voice. You just have to hear it for yourself.
It's a very unique voice.
Yeah.
Which I like a lot.
And there's a Bob Dylan reference in this song.
Mm-hmm.
When he says he's got my boots of Spanish leather.
Yep.
And Boots of Spanish Leather is a Bob Dylan song off of The Times They Are A-Changing.
Times they are a-changing.
Yeah. And he's like, if you had to pick, I was listening to a review of this album from a YouTube reviewer. His channel is called The Needle Drop, and he was saying if you had to pick one Bob Dylan album that this was reminiscent of, it would be like, I think he referenced The Times They Are Changing, like that era.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see that.
The earlier era.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think this song seems to be about being in love and wanting to be transformed into something greater. Not literally the King of Spain, but like, you know, you could be. You feel like you feel so great. Like, I'm in love. I can conquer anything.
Yeah, if you could rewrite my days,
yeah,
make me the King of Spain. Yeah.
I could be wrong, but you never know. Moving on to track number 7, which is called Love Is All. I gave this rating a 7 foot.
I like this song a lot.
I do too. It's slow and it's sad again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about a failed relationship. And he has got a lot of imagery about the river and like letting things go, like it's letting his tears go, and how it's hard to do so.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a sad song, but it's really nice.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's about all I have to say, though. Track number 8 is called 1,000 Ways. I gave it 7 foot 5 inches. It's again another cool picking pattern arises that's non-traditional. It's a catchy chorus, and he uses this imagery about being the moon, I think, as a metaphor. Like he compares like the moon is always being blamed for the sun going down on people.
Yeah, yeah.
Like everyone's blaming the moon for that, so maybe he's being blamed for people's problems. I don't really know entirely what he's.
It's just 1,000.
Yeah,
that's the part that reminds me of Bob Dylan.
It's just a Nez, so home.
Jeez.
No, he doesn't sound exactly like that.
No.
But pretty close.
I wouldn't say close at all.
No. Someone heard this, they'd be like, what's Bob Dylan doing here?
I don't think so either.
You never know.
Oh, you mean heard you doing your imitation of Bob Dylan?
No, I mean this album.
Okay.
You're like, is he just a guitar player featuring Bob Dylan on the vocals? Nah. Moving on to track number 9, the penultimate track. It's called A Lion's Heart. I gave this a rating of 7 feet.
And you know it's a lion's heart.
Yeah, got some cool vocal stylings that he puts in this song. The chorus is the best part, I think. That part right there that you were just singing. Hopefully he's not referring to the cowardly lion, because he was in need of a heart. But he got one in the end.
I just took a drink and that was funny. I almost spit it out. It was almost a non-visual spit take that just happened.
I'm glad you didn't spit.
Yeah, that was a bit bad.
Yeah. But
hopefully he's not the coward.
I'm sure it's not. Again, nice finger picking style. I think this song's about nostalgia and goodbyes.
Mm-hmm.
About someone you deeply care for, and like how I think he even says at one point, like it's not a real goodbye if you mean it.
Yeah.
He uses lots of metaphors and styles. Like compares it to a lion coming down the hill, his heart like thumping.
Good song.
Moving on to the last song, which is called "Kids on the Run." I gave this a rating of 7 foot 5 inches, and whoa! Time to switch it up is right. Just throw that guitar in the fire and get yourself a piano is what I say, because this is piano driven.
Yes, it is.
I don't even know if there's a guitar in the song. There might be in the background, but it's definitely piano up front.
It's mostly piano driven.
It reminds me of that Bon Iver record where he ends with Beth/Rest.
Yeah.
Where it's got all the folky guitar songs, and then out of the blue, it's a keyboard-driven,
like 80s pop
we
song.
throw a monkey wrench in the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he actually does that on his first album, too.
Bon Iver?
No, The Tallest Man on Earth.
Oh.
He ends it with a piano song as well.
Does he do that on his third and or fourth? We'll have to examine and review.
We will.
But yeah, it's a welcomed change of pace, but quite a surprise from the first piano hit that comes in immediately.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what they're on the run for, these kids that he speaks
kids
of.
on the run.
I think they're not kids anymore. They're adults, but I don't know if they've done something wrong. It alludes to maybe something illegal that they've done. I don't really know.
I think it's just about not growing up.
It's talking about having like things that people frown upon, but when they talk about people frowning upon them, quote unquote, because I don't think he actually says people frown upon us. That's just what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think he says like they look at us like we're murderers. So like obviously they did something wrong.
Yeah.
But maybe it is just something socially not something that doesn't fly socially, but maybe not illegal.
It seems like to me the line just because we're
not
still kids on the run. Yeah, it's just like
we're still kids on the run.
We're still kids on the run.
Run.
Yeah. I think it's kind of a cool ending to the album.
It is. All in all, it was a pretty good album. Upon my first listen, I was like, oh, goodness me. This is going to be a drag. Like on the first listen, I was like, well, it sounds better than Richard Buckner, but it's going to be a doozy this few weeks.
Yeah.
But after about 3 listens, I was on board.
Yeah.
So I quite liked it a lot, and it was pretty accessible. Much more accessible than Richard Buckner. Hopefully next week is quite accessible too. We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. But I'm glad I listened to this, and I would like to check out some more of his stuff, and I would like to see him live if his show is as good as they say.
And if you're listening, Tallest Man on Earth, come to Nashville.
Come to Nashville.
Come to Nashville, please.
Yes. Well, anyways, now that we've reached our midpoint, has your beer changed flavors at all?
It hasn't really changed flavors. It has just stayed consistent. It's still really good.
Mine has stayed average.
Is any more of that maltiness coming through now that it's a little bit warmer?
No.
Really?
It's pretty much the same. It's all right.
So just an average, good, easy drinking beer.
Yeah.
That's always a good quality to have.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you need that.
I think I'd rather have this if I was eating some fish and chips or some shepherd's pie or anything Irish. Or just any comfort food. This would be a good comfort food beer.
Yeah.
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, a little spätzle with cheese.
Spätzle with cheese.
Yeah, little beer brats.
Beer brats. Nice, yeah. That'd be good. That would be good with that.
Yeah. Maybe you can cook brats in this beer.
Or a burger.
Or maybe you could cook burgers in this beer.
You actually probably could.
Or maybe you could make bread with this beer. Beer bread.
Or maybe you can make ice cream with that beer.
I don't know about that.
Or
maybe
popsicles.
Cheese. Beer cheese. Popsicles would be weird.
We should try that sometime.
Not with this beer. Maybe with a sweet stout.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Probably not an IPA. I don't think that would translate well. Definitely not a lager.
We should definitely try it with a stout.
Definitely a maltier beer. Like maltier beers are good for breads. And I'm assuming they would be better for popsicles.
A popsicle?
Yeah, let's get like a left-handed milk stout or something. That might be good because that's a sweet one. Just some type of dessert stout would be delicious.
Good idea. Me.
Well, let's put that on the checklist.
Actually, good idea for you thinking of a stout for it.
Yeah. Group effort.
Group effort.
Good job, hosts of American Brews and Tunes. You guys are the best. Oh, thanks. You.
Thanks, person.
Thanks, random voice that came from me. Anyways, enough mid
pot.
What? What? Enough mid podcast interludes. So let's hear about that album that you reviewed, eh?
Yeah, enough of these interruptions.
Yeah, enough of these pleasantries.
Yeah, let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
The unpleasantries.
I would like to take you back to a time in the 20s.
Okay.
Nah. Oh. That's just what the album artwork for Alkaline Trio's Crimson reminds me of.
A guy wearing a...
It's like a
top
hat. He's wearing like a 3-piece suit and like a really nice hat. And then there's a lady in the background, like, and just the coloring of the album cover.
It looks like a cover for a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. It kind of reminds me of like a 20s noir film or something like that. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about Alkaline Trio's album Crimson.
Crimson.
What is there a song with that? With Crimson in the lyrics? Probably, but
I think there is, but I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Crimson in the night. That's my song.
We can have our own Crimson songs.
Anyway, this album was released May 24th, 2005.
2005.
2005. And it charted at 25 on the Billboard 200 that year. So, with that said... let's just jump right into my first recommendation, which is track number 1.
It's one of their more popular albums, I would say.
I would say it most likely is, yeah, because there's one song that I actually knew before you recommended it to me.
If I had to guess, I'd say it's Mercy Me.
Yes, but that's the only song, though, that I knew before. So anyway, back to track number 1. It's a song called Time to Waste. This song, I gave it 5 out of 5 and recommended it. It starts off with a really nice, like, soft piano part. So it starts off with that nice piano part, but then it explodes into full band after a little bit, and it's super dope. And it's like really heavy and really chuggy and really anthemic is what it really is. So right off the bat, they start you with like a really nice, good idea, just like you said earlier, a really good idea of what the album is going to sound like, or what in general, like the sound they're going for, or the feel they're going for even.
Kind of what you'd feel from the cover, I guess.
Yeah, kind of that noir feeling, almost like, I guess, yeah, Tim Burton, like kind of like a weird, like horror type feeling. But anyway, this song is a super golden, catchy chorus, and I believe that it's about a relationship.
I'd say so.
I had time to waste. Or no, you had time to waste. And I'm not sorry. Such a basket case. Something about cutlery after that. And I had time to kill. It's dead and buried.
You've got guts to spill, but no one trustworthy.
Such a great chorus.
It's a great chorus. I just love the when the piano part comes back in during the bridge.
Yeah.
And then the guitar comes in and it's just all heavy and awesome.
Just it's that one moment.
No, I'm 99% positive that the guitar tone on this song is responsible for the guitar tone on Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that once.
The producer, I don't know if it was the producer or the engineer who was working with Alkaline Trio, loved Matt Skiba's tone so much that they emulated it on Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, like they made it like a thing that a lot of other bands use, most likely.
It was pretty cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Good job, Matt Skiba, for dialing in that tone nicely.
It is a really great guitar tone.
It is.
It's like
the
a
tone
super
throughout
good
the
guitar
album,
tone. Yeah.
That's what I'd like to have, that guitar tone.
Yeah, I know, right?
Maybe I should call it like, say, Matt Skiba, what do you do for that? Show me.
Well, I think for me to get that tone, I'd have to get a new guitar.
Probably.
Because my guitar is really mellow, and I would need like a guitar with like humbuckers in it. Or, like,
your guitar is pretty mellow.
It's pretty mellow.
Yeah.
But not mellow yellow.
Remember when...
mellow green.
In The Big Lebowski, when she's trying to get him to go to that doctor? What's that girl's name?
When is this in that movie?
Remember that girl who's the painter? She's real crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Who plays her? I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank.
I can't remember either.
She's in a bunch of she's in some Paul Thomas Anderson movie. Oh, what's her name? I should know this. Well, anyways, when she's trying to get him to go to the doctor, she's like, Jeffrey, dear, go to this doctor. He's very thorough.
He's very thorough.
But I just love the way she says thorough. She's like, he's very thorough.
So you got that from saying mellow.
Yeah, that's my train of thought.
Nice.
What is her name? Julianne Moore. That's her name.
Julianne Moore. Okay.
Should have known that.
Right, Julianne Moore or
Julianne
Ann Moore.
Julianne. One name. Julianne.
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 Oh, okay, so it's Julie Ann. One word.
One word. Julianne.
Julianne.
No spaces.
It's almost like the calendar. The Julian calendar. Is that what the calendar's called? Julian calendar?
I do not know.
No, Gregorian. Sorry.
Gregorian?
Let me take a look at that.
You see how it's spelled?
Julianne.
Julian.
Julianne.
Julianne Moore.
But people pronounce it Julianne Moore, right?
Yeah.
As if there was a space.
Yeah, or a hyphen, but there is none. I
Or a
assure you
hyphen.
that.
Yeah, well, that's what Google just said, so.
Well, Google never lies. And neither do I.
Anyway, maybe we should move on to track number 2.
Isn't that the truth?
Yes, it is the truth. Track number 2 is my second recommendation.
Oh, okay.
It's a song called Poison.
This song is poison.
And
In the best sense.
and this is where we first hear the other vocalist.
Dan Adreno, I think that's his name?
Dan Adreno, yeah, I believe so. And he's the bassist of the group. And Matt Ski was a guitarist. And who's the drummer?
Derek Grant.
Derek Grant.
He's got his own... They all have their own side projects. Derek Grant has his own side project, which I think is just called Derek Grant.
Really?
Dan Adreno has something called Dan Adreno in the Emergency Room. It's like an acoustic act.
In the emergency room.
Matt Skiba's got his own solo stuff. He's got Matt Skiba and the Secrets.
And,
the K. And Blink-182.
And Blink-182, yeah.
Now that he's taken Tom DeLonge's spot.
Yeah. But it's kind of nice to hear the other vocalist.
Very different sounding than Matt
Very
Skiba.
different sounding. It took me a while to be like, I like his voice.
Yeah, I like Skiba's voice better, but I like Adreno's voice as well.
Yeah, I still like it as well.
And this is my favorite song of his that he fronts.
Yeah. Same. That's why I recommended it on this album, or from this album, I mean.
'Cause I got a rooftop view in London.
How could a rooftop view in London look just the same as one in Brooklyn? I really like that line. Can't see so good.
Yeah, it's a cool guitar
There's like
part.
a chromatic type guitar line that comes in. But I really like that line. And that's the reason I recommended it. The how could a rooftop view in London look just the same as one in Brooklyn? Suggesting that place doesn't really matter.
Everywhere looks the same.
Yeah. Everywhere
Essentially.
eventually becomes the same. Which is an interesting concept. Because, you like think of traveling and whatnot and how, I can't wait to go wherever.
Every airport's the same. Every hotel room's the same.
Yeah. So anyway, that's why I really like that song. Now, on to track number 3. It's called Burn.
Burn.
This track starts off with a guitar, like he strums like a doo-doo, and then it kind of like phases between the right and left speaker, or if you have headphones on, right and left ear, and it has like a weird, I guess, phaser. It has an interesting effect on it. But the main idea of the song is everybody learns faster on fire. So everybody learns faster, like learns about themselves faster if they're in a tough situation.
Yeah.
I guess is kind of what the song's about. I gave it 4 to 5. I like it.
It's a good one.
On to my last recommendation.
Well, that was quick.
Yep. Track number 4 is called Mercy Me.
Yeah.
Such a catchy chorus.
It really is. I don't know. I love this song. It's great.
Yeah, it really is.
One of their most popular songs.
It starts off like a punk song. Yeah, with like a single guitar line and like fast drums and but which is kind of different than this song and another song stick out on the album because of that.
Okay, I can see it. Really poppy song, which is not always the case for this album.
Yeah.
Less dark sounding.
Yeah, less dark sounding and yeah, definitely that. More poppy, more major, less minor. And I believe it's just a song about like dealing with problems and like not feeling like you can get through them.
Could be.
Basically, I'm not really sure. A lot of their songs, they have like really simple lyrics, but they're said in such a way that I'm confused as to what they mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
But anyway, I really like that song.
I like the line that Dan Adreno sings in the chorus. Skiba sings most of the song, but he sings, So drive yourself insane tonight. It's not that far away, and I just filled up your tank earlier today.
Yep.
Such a good song.
How does that line go? So drive
yourself insane tonight. It's not that far away, and I just filled up your tank earlier today. Yeah. Oh, mercy me. God bless catastrophe.
Oops, that was bad.
Yeah. Let's do it again for posterity's sake.
Okay.
Oh, mercy me. God bless catastrophe.
Oh boy.
That was even worse. How about you do the mercy
All
me?
right,
I'll
I'll
do
do
the
that.
harmony.
Okay. Oh, mercy me. God bless catastrophe. That was
Much better.
That was much better.
Yeah. We composed ourselves
Yep.
and we did someone else's composing.
Sang someone else's composition.
Tomato, tomato, potato, potato.
Tomato, tomato, potato, potato, ketchup, mustard,
Catsup?
ketchup.
Who says catsup?
Nobody says catsup.
Spelling of ketchup is ridiculous also.
How do you spell it? K-A...
I've seen like Ketchup. I've also seen
Ketchup.
Catsup. I've seen a bunch of different ways to spell
Catsup?
ketchup.
Weird.
Catsup.
Catsup.
I think I don't know. I've seen different ways to spell it.
Can I get some catsup for my french fries?
I'll say, no, but you can have ketchup, sir.
Where do people say catsup?
I don't know. I could be wrong also about this.
Interesting.
Irrelevant, though. Maybe they say it in Chicago.
Anyway.
All right, dear Bob, give me some catsup.
Do you think that's where?
No.
All right, there, Bob. Mercy Me is a great song.
Yeah, it is.
Fantastic song.
And that is all of your recommendations.
Yep. I still have an though. So on to track number 5. It's called Deathbed.
Calling all
cars are coroners, we got a dead one here.
Yeah, that's what the line is.
I
I like that beginning.
It's a really catchy chorus. I'm not exactly sure what it's about.
I
Because
don't know.
the chorus talks about him being face down in the street. And then he says like they tried everything like to revive him or something like that.
They tried everything and everyone,
But
everyone,
everything
but
and
it was no
everyone,
use.
but they never tried you. So like he's down and out, but they tried everything to revive him, but he just needed you. So it's about a relationship, maybe, or
yeah, probably
I have no idea.
with some dark metaphors.
Yeah,
Alkaline Trio likes to have those dark metaphors.
Yeah, I guess I should say that a lot of the lyrical content is
Dark and metaphorical.
dark, metaphorical, kind of like horror-esque.
Yeah.
Like what I said at the beginning, like a noir,
Mm-hmm.
like dark film.
Yee.
And actually, I read somewhere, I think it was on Wikipedia, that the reason that they chose that album cover is because it like looked cinematic, and that's is almost
what they're going for.
Yeah, how the album sounds too.
Yeah. It's a constant theme.
But anyway, on to track number 6, which is called "Settle for Satin." It's kind of a reoccurring theme in a lot of punk music, or just in a lot of music in general. Just like getting stuck in a rut, basically.
I suppose that's life.
Because
Life is one big rut.
I guess, or one big hill,
Yeah.
big valley or hill, depending on how you look at it.
Or a mountain.
Mountain or a knoll
Or a ocean.
or a brook.
Or outer space.
Ooh, interesting.
Or a jam-packed highway
Oh yeah,
during a rush hour.
that's the worst.
Yeesh.
Anyway, one of the lyrics in the I think it's the chorus. He says, "I guess we all settle into what we know."
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do?
So it seems like what he's saying with that line is that whenever we face trouble or basically, yeah, just trouble, we have patterns that we fall back into to help like cope with whatever we're going through.
And one day, trouble will be gone. Full circle.
Good time. Anyway, on to my honorable mention, track number 7. It's called Sadie.
It's a good one.
It's a pretty crazy song.
It's dark.
Pretty crazy subject matter.
I'd say so.
It's about Sadie Glutz, which is the alias for
What's her real
Susan Atkins,
That's right.
who was part of the Charles Manson cult.
Yeah. The way they call them, the Manson family or something.
Yeah, something weird like that.
Yeah, so weird.
But it was about how she got sentenced to, I think, life in prison
I believe so.
for participating in the murders that Charles Manson did. Because, like, I guess she thought that Charles Manson was, like, Jesus or, like, the second coming of Christ or something like
kind
that.
of thought that.
And then
some weird stuff. Who they murdered? They murdered Sharon Tate and a few other people. It was Roman Polanski's wife. I
Oh,
believe.
really?
And she was pregnant.
Oh,
It was dark, and they murdered a couple other people.
yeah. So this is where we get into like the
Real dark.
real. It's well, I don't want to use the word horror because it's actually true.
Oh, horror can be true.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But it's not like a
It's not
Horror
a
film
horror
or
film.
something
No,
like
this was
that.
an actual horror of an event.
an actual event that was horrifying.
Oh, the horror!
The horror.
The horror!
But I guess while in prison, she became a born again Christian in like 75 or something like that.
Something like that.
Something crazy like that. So in the chorus, they talk about Sadie G.
Sadie,
She's crazy. You see, so says like the white people, the people in the white coats.
Yeah.
But then they say like Susan A. is like missing all of her opportunities or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's a very, very strange song. Or strange.
I like the song a lot.
I
but
like it a lot, but it's a weird, like, I would never think to write a song about that, you know?
Yeah. I wouldn't write about it.
I guess,
Maybe one day I would, but it's not what I would think to go to first.
yeah, you wouldn't be like, I need to write a song about that. Those crazy people.
There's another song on this record that's about a true event. But
Yep.
maybe you'll touch upon
I'll
it
get
later.
that. I'll get to
Okay.
that, yep. Anyway, on to the next track. Is track number 8 is called Fall Victim. It's very catchy.
Yeah, it is.
Also,
Watch them
again,
fall in line as I fell victim
to double suicide. Something about
on your
television.
television.
So again, it's like the lyrics are very
dark.
dark and I don't know what
Definitely
they mean.
metaphorical.
I don't know what they mean.
I think metaphorical.
that's the line that I'm trying to figure out
Yeah.
with this album. Is like, is it literal or is it metaphorical?
Hard to tell.
It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, they definitely kind of teeter back and forth.
Yeah. But anyway, I thought it was very catchy. I'm not sure what it's about though.
Fair
So,
enough.
On to track number 9. It's called "I Was a Prayer."
Number 9.
This
Number 9.
yes, to number 9. There's I really like the guitar tone at the beginning.
Mhm.
It's like a really thick, like chunky guitar tone. It's super nice. And I believe, again, I believe this song is about having a grip on life, but then a relationship throwing a wrench in that. Kind of, maybe, perhaps. I think that's what it's about. But anyway, I like the song. Not my favorite. I think the back half of this album for me is a little bit less. What's the word I'm looking for? A little bit less strong. It's not as strong.
Yeah, I
as
think it's a little front loaded. This album is.
Yeah.
Resequencing might be in order, but that's okay. I don't mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see what you mean.
On to track number 10, which is called "Prevent This Tragedy."
Oh, what tragedy?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
I gave this song 4 to 5, and this is another song that is about real events that happened in our world.
Horrible events.
Horrible events, yeah.
I only know about this because I've got a live record of it where they did this album front to back.
Yeah.
And he's like, we wrote this song about the Memphis 3?
The West Memphis 3.
West Memphis 3.
So it's the part of Memphis that's in Arkansas.
West Memphis.
Yep.
Weird. But I'll let you elaborate.
Anyway, so basically what happened is that this song, well, I'll just say, this song is about the West Memphis 3, which refers to 3, I believe, teenagers, 3 boys who were wrongly accused for the murder of a couple other kids. And it's basically a song about how, like, there was so much miscommunication in their trials and, like, a lot of coercion to, like, get the kids to confess to the murders and how they're, like, trying to prevent the tragedy of them being sentenced to life in prison for a murder
I think
that
one
they
of them was
didn't
sentenced
commit.
to death. I can't remember if they...
One of them was sentenced to death, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then eventually, I believe 2011, they were acquitted of all charges.
Crazy.
Yeah,
It's
it's
insane.
absolutely crazy.
Did you ever hear the Central Park 5?
No?
Something similar where these like teenagers were convicted of assault and I think rape and I don't think it wasn't murder.
No, I did hear about that, yeah.
It was bad. I saw a documentary.
But it
on
was like
It's-
false. It was false accusations,
It was just
right?
like middle school, early high school kids who were like being held by all hours of the cops, like without
Crazy.
their parents or anyone in there during the interview. It was just a lot of weird, shady stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course they were falsely accused, and a confession was coerced.
Yeah.
Weird stuff going on. But
Which
look into
that's-
those events. It's really interesting.
That's so weird that like cops will actually do that.
Yeah.
Like you think of cops as, or investigators, I guess. I'm not sure. Like it's not your average,
'Cause-
everyday cop who's doing
No.
these.
There are
these
certain
interrogations.
interrogation tactics that are known to work, but sometimes there are things that are questionable. And
Yeah.
maybe the rule book should be looked into.
Who knows?
Maybe.
But that's a subject for a different time.
Or a different podcast.
Yeah, probably a different podcast.
Not
actually.
American Brews and Tunes, more like American Justice.
American justice and bourbon.
Justice.
Oh, American justice and bourbon.
Bourbon's American. So,
True. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, what other
You can
liquor is
only
American?
you can only distill bourbon in America, right?
Yeah, there's no bourbon that comes from another country. I assure you.
Maybe there's faux bourbon.
Well, then you can't to
Then it's not
classify as
actual
bourbon. It has
Yeah.
to be in the distilled in one of the 50 United States.
49.
50 states.
one of the 50 United States.
Yeah, you
the
can
multiple ones across the
you
globe.
can have an Alaskan bourbon. You can have a Hawaiian bourbon. You can have a Pittsburgh, Pennsylvanian bourbon.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can have a Californian bourbon.
You could have a Iowan bourbon.
You can have a Rhode Island
Ohioan
bourbon.
bourbon.
Yeah,
Montanian bourbon.
you can have a North Dakotan bourbon.
Wyoming bourbon.
Yeah, what's that guy
Minnesota
from
bourbon.
Fargo? Jim
Jim,
from Fargo.
Jim, let us know if there's a
You ever had any
There's a
North
Fargo
Dakota
bourbon.
distillery stuff? No?
is Fargo in North or South Dakota?
North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh, okay, sure.
Anyway,
You betcha. You're
enough
darn
about-
tootin'.
enough about naming all the states and saying there could be a bourbon from them.
Yeah, enough about the chilly Midwest. Back to Alkaline Trio.
But Jim, let us know.
Yeah, let us know, please. Send us a letter.
Please.
Snail mail.
Snail mail, please. Yeah. Our address is 1, 2, 4, 7, 10, 12 quarts.
Quart? Like The Rock?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. That's just where my mind went for some
okay.
reason.
That's really random.
Anyway, I've had enough of being here. Let's go back to hell.
Send us
Anyway.
back to hell. We had our fill of heaven. Another catchy song.
Give us back our sins, deadly 1 through 7. I like that line.
Anything at all.
Anyway, this song is called, track number 11 is called Back to Hell.
Is it probably the fastest song on the album?
Yeah, it's
For
definitely
sure.
the fastest. That's why I gave it a higher rating of 4 to 5.
Yeah. In their later albums, they definitely don't do the fast punk like they used to do in their earlier records.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, is this one of their later ones or?
Probably mid career.
Okay, when they were going towards more of that like horror rock and roll.
They always kind of had that
Okay,
horror
that
style, but they were
element.
more like fast, definitely more punky, a little more skate punky earlier in their
okay.
career.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I believe this song is about the general idea of not conforming to the status quo.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I know that in this song they are using like "send us back to hell" as a metaphor
Mm-hmm.
for like saying like we don't want your ideal heaven. Send us back to what we want, or to what we want to do. That's not the norm. So I think that's what this song's about.
They don't want you to stick with the status quo.
No, we're not going into that movie ever again.
Yeah. Just as long as we can get our head in the game.
Curse you.
It's a high school
HSM.
musical.
We're at this super crazy high school. It's super big, out in the middle of nowhere.
We sing our
there are pools
songs in
here.
high school. Singing our songs in high school.
Playing basketball. I'm gonna shoot the ball into the hoop.
Yeah, that was the theme song for High School Musical that was rejected.
Yeah. We had written that before and submitted it whenever we heard they were making a movie about a high school and there was gonna be a musical and there was gonna be
With
basketball involved.
And everyone sang. So that's why we wrote that song.
We're in the lunchroom now. Gonna
In the
have some
lunchroom
tater
now.
tots. Oh wait, we're gonna break out and dance. Sing on the tables. Sing on the tables.
Don't step on my tater tots.
Don't step on my tater tots.
Lunch lady will give me more. Or
Hopefully.
not.
If I have enough money in my
or
lunch account.
not. Or
Nah.
The end.
Anyway, enough about our version of High School Musical. On to track number 12 called Your Neck. Is this a song about vampires?
Probably.
I think it might be.
If there was ever a song about vampires, just short of any of the Twilight songs, it's probably this one.
Because they talk about, like...
I'm gonna bite your neck. Yeah, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Give me some blood to drink.
That sounded like Yoda from that one video.
She goes, bite your knees. Don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep. What's that song called?
Seagulls.
Seagulls.
Or Seagull or something like that.
I can't remember.
If you guys haven't seen that video, it's hilarious.
Look it up, or we'll post it on the website at brewsandtunespodcast.com.
Boom. Anyway, there's still one more song to get to on this album.
Let's get to it then.
It's called Smoke. Track number 13?
Yeah.
13.
And this song typically slips my mind like some smoke that I tried too hard to hold.
Nice Brian Fallon reference.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever I first listened to this album, I was like, huh, that's the last song?
Yeah.
I was like, the first time I listened to it, I didn't look at the tracks because I was listening to it at work. So I just had my phone in my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the end of that song. And I was like, huh, there must be one more song.
Nope.
And I was like, oh, that's the end of the album. What the heck? Interesting choice for the end. I believe it's about being away on tour and wanting to be home with your family.
I mean, they tour extensively until Matt Skiba joined Blink-182.
Yeah, now they really don't. But they are coming to Nashville, though.
Yeah, they just announced a new album called...
Well, the single was called Blackbird.
Yeah, I don't remember what the album's called.
Not to be confused with the Beatles song.
But it has another red and black looking theme on the cover. I know that.
Yep.
But I like this new single they put out, and I'm excited for the record.
Yeah, same here. Overall, this album, it took me a while to start liking it decently. All the songs that I recommended and a few others I really like. Mm-hmm. And then some other ones I'm just kind of like, they're there. I still like them, but just not as much as the other ones.
That makes sense.
This album definitely did grow on me, though. The first time I listened to it, I was like, oh, no.
Oh, no. So we had the same situation.
Yeah, I was like, this might be the first album that Steve recommended to me that I don't like.
I mean, it's bound to happen eventually.
Yeah, most likely.
Well, what do you think about your beer? Well, before we finish our beers, let's look towards the future.
Yes.
Our next episode is going to be another one-off where we review one album and try one beer, and I believe we'll be reviewing the latest album from Propaganda called Victory Lap.
Yes.
What a joy it will be to review that album.
It will be. It will almost be like we have won something. Like it's a victory. And maybe we'll run around in circles.
Yes, we will. Lap. Well,
or maybe
great.
We'll have our victory trophy and set it on our laps.
That's less likely.
Say, here it is, victory trophy. Plop.
That's less likely, I would say.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but after that, we'll be back to our regular program, which is the I recommended album for Jesse. He recommends one for me. So, what album should I listen to for our next regular episode?
Okay. This one is going to be tough, I think, Steve.
No, I asked for something accessible.
But I believe that after you've listened to Radiohead a little bit more, I think you'll hopefully be a little bit more open to this album.
To what?
It's an album by the band Animal Collective.
Oh, you're too optimistic. This is not going to happen.
And it's called Merriweather Post Pavilion, which is a venue in Boston, I believe, or in New York.
I am really not looking forward to this.
Yeah, I know, but I think you're ready.
I don't think so.
I think you're ready.
Well,
you can do it. Go into it with a very open mind, even more open than you were whenever I recommended a Radiohead album or the Broken Bells album.
I'm going to butcher this quote. It's from a movie. Great men did not seek greatness, but had greatness thrust upon them.
Looks
just
like
as this crazy album is thrust upon me.
I'm thrusting this great album upon you.
I'm going to shake it off. Well, we'll see. So I'm going to give you a concept album to listen to.
Okay.
It's a band called Silverstein.
Yep.
You might be familiar with them. And the album is called A Shipwreck in the Sand.
Yep.
So it's a fun concept. I would recommend looking up maybe listen to it once or twice and then look up
And
the
then
concept.
look up the lyrics and the concept. Okay.
Yeah, it tells a story.
Okay.
There's maybe like one or two songs that kind of deviate, but essentially it's just one big story.
Yeah, I'll probably have to take my time with this album then.
Yeah, it's a little different than some of the stuff I've recommended.
Yeah.
But I'll have more concept albums to come in the future.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bum bum concept albums.
Anyways, let's has your beer flavor changed at all?
As it's gotten
Still
warmer, I think the booziness of the double IPA is finally coming through.
It happens.
And it's much more intense now.
Okay. Well,
So it
that
still
does happen.
tastes really good though.
Yeah, mine stayed about the same. It's not bad. I'm not sure that I would avidly seek this beer out ever again. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It just doesn't do much for me.
It's there's a certain nice thing about just having a drinkable beer though.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what that is.
So let's say we finish these brews and sign off for the episode.
Sounds good.
All right.
Again, everybody raise your glass with us.
Yeah, albeit if you have libations or water or milk or anything else.
Yeah.
Shibbity-boo-doo! Wow. One last time. Until next week, my name is Stephen Johnston.
And my name is Jesse Titus.
And this is American Brews and Tunes.
Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American